Hi, we are here to discuss about repetition control structure. Why is it that repetition control structure is needed in a program? Imagine that you have to display several increasing or decreasing numbers. Without the repetition control structure, we have to type it one by one. This helps R to consume less time in typing. In this control structure, the program loops until the condition becomes true, then program will execute it. The repetition control structure is composed of for loop, while loop, and do while loop.
Hi, I will discuss to you about the syntax for the for loop. The first is the initialization. Initialization is an expression that is evaluated once before the loop. The second is the condition. The condition is evaluated before each iteration and the loop exists if it is false. The third is the update statement. It is evaluated after each iteration. Then the last are the statements under. Is any statement including a compound statement within braces that is executed if the condition is true. Hi, I will show you to make a program that will count from 0 to 5 using for loop. To begin the program, I will type import java.util.asterisk. And then the public class that I will make is for loop. And then under it is the static scanner console is equal to new scanner system.in. And then under it is public static void main string args. And then the input will be int n. And then I want to display a number count above, so I will type system.out.print ln and then number count. And then for the for loop, type for. Then for the initialization, n is equal to 0. Then the condition is n is less than or equal to 5. Then for the update statement is n increment. Then to display the number is system.out.print ln n. And then I will execute the program. Just tap Shift F6 to know the output. And then the output is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Now, I will discuss the counter-controlled while loop. This type of loop, where the number of execution is known in advance, are termed by counter-controlled loop. That means, in this case, The value of variable which controls the execution of the loop is previously known. The control variable is known as counter. Counter controlled loop is also called definite repetition loop. This is the syntax of counter controlled while loop. First, the initialization. The initialization is counter is equals to 0. It initializes the loop control variable. The second is condition. The condition is while expression counter less than to end. It tests the loop control variable. Third, the update statement, which is counter increment increment. It updates the loop control variable. Now, I will show you how to make a program that computes sum and average using the counter controlled while loop. First, we will declare the variables. The first variable is int limit. This variable stores the number in the list. The second variable is int number. This variable stores the number. The third is int sum. This variable stores the sum. The fourth is int counter. The loop control variable. After that, I will type the codes that ask the user to enter the number of the item in the list that he or she wanted. Then, I will input the sum and counter which is equal to 0. And then, we ask again the user to enter the integer according to the limit. Then, we proceed to condition. I'll type the condition which is while counter is less than to limit. Then I will type the formula. And followed by the update statement which is counter increment increment. Then, after the program count all the number that entered by the user, the program will say the sum of the limit and the sum or the answer. And if the counter is not equals to 0, the program will print the average else the program says no input. Now, I will run the program. I input 4. So the limit is 4. Then I enter 4 integer. Then the sum is 16 and the average is 4. And when I enter 0, the program says no input.
Hi, I am here to discuss to you the flag control while loop. In this while loop, if the user enter a number which is false, the program will continue to execute. And if the user enter a number which is true, the program will stop to execute. First, our initialization is found equals to false. It initializes the loop control variable. And for our condition is while not found. It controls the loop control variable. And our update statement is found is equals to true. It updates our loop control variable. I will show you how to make a guessing game program using flag control loop. First, we will declare our variables. I will declare int number. This variable will store our random number. Then our second variable is int guess. And this variable will store our number. Next, we will declare our boolean, which is boolean found. This boolean variable will control our loop. Then now, we will declare the number which should be guessed by the user. then our boolean is false. And our while statement is not found. Then we will ask our user to guess a number. Guess a number. Guess is equals to console dot next int. And if the user guess the correct number, the program will says you've guessed the correct number. And our boolean will become true. And our else if is guess less than the number. The program will says system your guess is lower than the number. And guess again. And our else is your guess is higher than the number. And our output will become like this.
Hi, I will discuss to you the Sentinel controlled while loop. Sentinel controlled while loop is used when the exact number of entry pieces is unknown but the last entry is known. This is the syntax for Sentinel controlled while loop. The condition is while, then the variable is not equal to Sentinel, then the update statement is input a data item into a variable. When the program reach variable is not equal to Sentinel, the program will continue to execute, and when it reach the variable is equal to Sentinel, the program will stop to execute. I will show you how to make a program using Sentinel controlled while loop.
First, I will import java.util.asterisk. Then my public class is Sentinel controlled while loop. Then under it is static scanner console equals new scanner system.in. Then under it, I will type static final int Sentinel equals of what user want to enter is their Sentinel value. I will type 9. Remember, the word Sentinel is written by all caps because it is constant. Then public static void main string args. My input is limit my input is number. My and sum is equals to 0. Then count is equals to 0. I will ask the user to type any integer, so I will type system.out println. And then under it, is the number is equals to console next int. For the syntax, I will use while. Number is not equal to the sentinel, the program will not continue to execute. Then under it is sum equal to sum plus number. And for my update statement is count increment. And under it, number console dot next int. Then I will want to display the sum of the number that the user will type. Then I will use also selection statement if else. If count is not equal to 0, it will display the average of the given integer. And if it else, they will display no input. Then I will run it by tapping Shift F6. I will type 6, 7, 7, 5, 29, then 9. The sum of the four number is equal to 47, then the average is equals to 11.
Hi, I will discuss to you about the end-of-file controlled while loop. A general form of the end-of-file controlled while loop that uses the scanner object console to input data is of the form. While console that has next, the expression console that has next evaluates to true if there is an input in the input stream. Otherwise, it returns false. Expressions such as console that has int act as the loop condition.
I will discuss about the do-while loop. In most computer programming languages, a do-while loop is a control flow statement that executes a block of code at least once, and then repeatedly executes the block, or not, depending on a given Boolean condition at the end of the block. This is the syntax of the do-while loop. Notice that a Boolean expression appears at the end of the loop. So, the statements in the loop executes once before the Boolean is tested. If the Boolean expression is true, the control jumps back up to the statement, and the statements in the loop execute again. This process repeats until the Boolean expression is.
Now, I will show you on how to make a program that executes the value of x from 1 to 10 using the do-while loop.
First, you must type import java.util*. Next, type public static void main string args under the public class. And then I will input a variable which is x is equals to 1. And I will type int x is equals to 1. Now, for the syntax do while, you must type do open curly brace, then the logical expression, then the x increment to execute the value of x from 1 to 10. Close curly bracket, then while x less than or equal to 10. To run the program, tap Shift X and the output will be the value of x from 1 to 10.